like making a reference to music. Those of you who only visit this channel for Star Trek reviews, you probably listen to pop music, and you probably know that you can't do a slow dancing song by taking a party song and playing it at half speed. You need to have a specific mood to have a slow dancing song. Like that famous song from Ghost with Patrick Swayze. That waltz song. Or from Back to the Future, typical slow dancing song. You can't do that by having a party song and playing it at half speed. Those of you who know this channel from my heavy metal stuff, you also know that you cannot do a doom metal song by taking a heavy metal song and playing it at half speed. It just doesn't work that way. To do something slow, you need to have the very specific mood. And in film it's the exact same thing. Like last few years there have been some really amazing slow-paced films like Joker recently. Before that it was Blade Runner 2049. I loved that movie. I seriously loved that movie. And Interstellar, that was also an incredible movie. It was so, all of them were so slow, but everything about them was just really worth the wait for. Every scene, like, you were constantly on the edge of your seat, like, not from the action, but from really wanting to see what comes next. And it takes a really specific mood, like really immersive, that you that real suspense that you want to see what comes next. And it doesn't work by just taking some fast-paced movie and playing it at half speed. And yeah, here we are at Star Trek Picard episode 3, the end of the beginning or whatever. And what this is, it's the first 3 episodes of Star Trek Picard so far is basically the first act of Guardians of the Galaxy, or the first act of Solo, a Star Wars story. It's a fast-paced sci-fi action adventure movie, just played really slowly at half speed. It doesn't have the suspense of something slow-paced. It doesn't have the immersive quality. It doesn't have the intensity. It doesn't pull you in. It doesn't have the introspective quality. So far it's an action adventure story, just played really, really slowly. And it doesn't work that way. It sucks because I've been a Star Trek fan for all my life, like since I was smaller than that dog that you can't see right now. I've been a Star Trek fan since I was a tiny kid, and I started with The Next Generation, and obviously I respect Captain Picard more than anything, and Patrick Stewart more than anything. Like, he's one of the greatest actors on the planet. But like, it should have been obvious to see that this just isn't working. This is just really, really lazy. You're taking like an action adventure story, playing it really, really slowly. The first 3 episodes of Star Trek Picard is basically like the first half hour of Guardians of the Galaxy, but stretched over 2.5 hours. There's no justification for that. There's no justification for it to be so slow moving. There's none of that immersive quality of like Blade Runner 2049 or Interstellar. There's not that really intense suspense that really has you on the edge of your seat. Even though nothing is happening for like 10 minutes of a time, you're still on the edge of a seat, with your heart beating fast to see what happens next. There's none of that there. It's really just basically the first half hour of Guardians of the Galaxy played really, really slowly. And it doesn't work that way. The same way that you can't do a slow dancing song by taking a party song and playing it at half speed. It doesn't work that way. It requires a very specific mood. Really introspective, really immersive, really heavy on the suspense. And in 3 episodes, that mood isn't there. It's just really sci-fi action adventure, just done really slowly, and it just drags so much. It just keeps dragging, and it's so slow, and it doesn't justify that slowness. Doesn't have suspense, it isn't immersive, it's just action adventure, just played very slowly. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's sad. I've seen many people on YouTube, many people in real life, many people in my social circle who didn't like Star Trek Discovery because nobody likes Star Trek Discovery, who were really hoping that Star Trek Picard would be good. Obviously for the sake of Patrick Stewart and everyone of the original cast involved. And yeah, I really genuinely wanted to be positive about this show, but what are they doing there? It's not justifying itself to be a slow-paced show. It's an action-adventure show so far that just plays at half speed. How lazy can you be, and how creatively bankrupt can you be? It's just wrong. Seriously, just... How can these are trained professionals, like there are people involved who probably studied writing in university for years and got a degree. Those are trained people, those are professionals, supposedly. And they do that. Like, how lazy can you get? Like, they already got their paycheck beforehand, and so they do stuff like that. You're supposed to have some code of honor about being a creative, about being a writer, that you want to deliver some quality. Oh no, is that not the way it works anymore? You don't have some code of honor anymore, you don't have some work ethic anymore, that you get your money anyway, so you just don't give a shit? Come on, as a writer, that's just really insulting. That's just really bad. And it's literally like, I don't know, like some pop music person like Nicki Minaj or whatever. I am not really well versed in modern pop music, taking one of her party songs and playing it at half speeds and saying, now this is a slow dancing song. And it really just doesn't work that way. Seriously. This is not the type of stuff that Joker was, that Blade Runner 2049 was, that Interstellar was. This is not an immersive, slow-paced film full of suspense that has you on the edge of your seat even though nothing happens for like 20 minutes at a time. This is really just... It's really just... Guardians of the Galaxy or Solo, a Star Wars movie played at half speed or a quarter speed, and it's terrible that way. It's horrible how much it drags. It's just slow for the sake of being slow because they needed to fill 10 hours. They didn't have plot for 10 hours, they had plot for 2 hours. So So it just needs to drag and drag and drag and drag, and there's no justification for it. It's just so bad. It's just really, really sad and so wrong, and considering the people involved and all the people involved that I respected so much from my childhood, that's just really sad. And that's just really cheap and sad, and obviously Amazon are going to regret spending money on that. So far the way it's going to bomb. Because honestly, this is like the most creatively bankrupt shit you can imagine. And it's just sad. Oh yeah, I have spoilers in the title. Picard gathers a few people and gets on a ship and flies away. That's the spoilers, that's the whole story. It's like what Guardians of the Galaxy or Solo, a Star Wars movie, did in a like 5-minute segment. And they drag it out into an entire episode. That's... Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do a separate video on this, like, for anyone who has watched this video for so long. I also wanted to do a separate video on the weird interpretations on Star Trek canon that this show is doing so far, like the Vulcan in sunglasses, like Vulcans have an inner eyelid because obviously they grew up on a desert planet, they have an inner eyelid, they don't need sunglasses. Or Picard, Patrick Stewart, Dr. Charles Xavier, going on that ship and meeting an exact copy of Logan. There's a guy who has the sideburns, who has the exact Hugh Jackman haircut, smoking a cigar, and he has a shrapnel in his shoulder. Oh, like it's going to heal anyway. I'm just going to take out my adamantium claws and remove it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching this video for so long, but for those really weird parts that just, as a Star Trek fan, are really insulting to your intelligence, I'm going to do a separate video on those ones. I'm just remembering at the end of this video, yeah, I wanted to mention that stuff. I didn't want to mention it in this video, because this video is just about how sad it is. This show is basically action-adventure played at half speed instead of really justifying its slowness. But yeah, I'm going to do a video on Logan, on Picard, because everybody already knew the show was going to be Logan in space, and they really drove it home with that crap. Or the Vulcan with sunglasses. What the hell? I'm going to do a video on that crap. Yeah, just wanted to throw that in case anyone watched this video for so long. But for this video, I'm just complaining about it. This show is 3 episodes that had in total half an hour of plot that played out for 2.5 hours. Worse than Star Trek Discovery, and it's going to be a disaster for Amazon and a disaster for Star Trek as a whole. And it's sad, it's honestly sad.